Review for Longlegs, starring Micah Monroe, directed by Osgood Perkins, and Nicolas Cage is in it. So, in pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. So, this movie is getting a lot of praise. Um, Getting a lot of praise. It's a horror movie, psychological thriller. Definitely in the vein of like Silence of the Lambs, um, stuff like that. The Zodiac Killer. But I'd say it's not nearly as good as those. I didn't think this movie was terrible. Um, if you're into horror movies and psychological thrillers and serial killer stuff, I mean, it's worth a watch. Nicolas Cage is kind of over the top in it. I don't know. See, I think like the first half of this movie is really, really good. But then the second half, I think it kind of just becomes, for me at least, like just a little laughable. Like Nicolas Cage, he's wearing this white makeup, and I mean, does this guy ever get any sun? Like, like I don't know. It's like he's like the whitest man ever. Obviously wearing makeup, obviously wearing prosthetics on his face, and it's just a little over the top for me. I mean, he is kind of creepy. This movie definitely has some creepy moments. Um, so I'm just gonna get into spoilers. It's hard to talk about it otherwise. Like the moment when it's like the first half when Micah Monroe goes to her house. She kind of lives in this cabin. She's an FBI agent, by the way. She lives in this cabin in the woods, kind of creepy place. She's like she's kind of relaxing, but kind of going over the case too. And she talks to her mother, who becomes much more important later. And then a really nice touch, actually, by the director is when they cut outside of her apartment or her house, and just barely you see that there's someone standing there, and then he moves away, and it's there for like maybe less than a second. So really nice touch there. A lot of people would probably miss that. So I mean, like that's all really creepy. That's all really good. Uh, and yeah, and that's Nicolas Cage, and he's watching her, and I thought all of that was very well done. Like this director's definitely got some talent. Um, there's definitely a lot of creepy stuff going on. Yeah, like for that sequence, and then Mika Monroe is looking out of her window. She sees someone's in the woods. She then pulls her gun out and she goes out into the woods to get him. Although I don't know why you wouldn't call for backup. Then she has a radio right there. She's a telephone right there. You would think you would. I mean, you're by yourself, and this guy's a serial killer. They don't exactly know how he's killing, but we'll get into that in a second. But and then she goes into the woods and she can't find him. All that's really well done, very creepy. And then she turns around and she barely sees that he's in her house. She then goes back in her house. She clears the house. He's gone. He leaves like a note for her to unravel, basically, kind of like the Zodiac. And so I liked all that. Like I said, that like the first half is pretty good. There's these creepy dolls that Nicolas Cage makes, and again, this is full spoilers because yeah, I just can't really talk about it otherwise. These very creepy dolls he makes. And Mika Monroe is involved in all of this from her childhood, but you find out near the end. So that was okay. There's just something about this movie that I think is, I don't know, it's a little off to me. It's almost trying too hard to be creepy. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know. It's getting great reviews. Like, some people love it. I have seen some people say it's too slow. It's kind of boring. Yeah, I think in the middle, it's definitely kind of slow and boring. You're kind of just like, okay, can we just get to what's going on? And they do explain it, and basically Nicolas Cage is a Satanist, and he um back in the 70s, because this movie takes place like in the mid 90s. He goes to give Mika Monroe's mother a gift, which is a doll, and then basically he wants to sacrifice his Mika's little girl. I mean Mika Monroe as a little girl. The mother won't let him do that. I don't know why he just doesn't kill the mother though, but instead he makes a deal with her, and then um because he wants to sacrifice Mika to Satan, I think. And but instead he makes a deal with her that the mother is going to be the accomplice of Nicolas Cage, and they're going to go around killing people. And Nicolas Cage makes these dolls. The mother then shows up to the house dressed as a nun, and then gives these dolls uh, to these people. I think on their birthdays. He goes and kills little girls that are born on the 14th of the month. And then the mother, who's played by Alicia Witt, and then and then she'll just like kind of sit there while the father and mother go nuts, and the dad, like in one of the scenes, this guy is like kind of like a lumberjack, kind of a farmer. The doll is delivered, and the dolls are creepy. I mean, I think that's easy to do, to film a doll that's creepy. It's been done many times in Hollywood. And the doll just kind of sits there, and then like in one of them, like the dad then kills the mom. And in that scene though, the daughter wasn't there, but usually it's a father kills the mother and the kids, or the kid. And this has happened like 30 times since the 70s. And like I said, it's revealed that Mika Monroe's mother is involved in all of this, basically to save her. So that's basically the ending. Um, but yeah, there's just something about the movie I just found, it's like trying too hard to be creepy. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it's like the makeup on Nicolas Cage and the way he talks. Like, it just seems like, does this guy ever get out? Like, how does he interact with anyone? There's kind of a funny scene with him, like in a kind of like a hardware store, and then he's buying some stuff, and he looks so weird and creepy. I mean, this guy would get the cops called on him all the time. Like, and then he's talking to this girl at the register, and then he's like, "Oh, what's your name, Angel? When's your birthday?" Because he wants to know birthdays, because he kills them on if they're born on the 14th. And then it's funny because then the girl yells out, "Dad, the creepy guy's back." So I thought that was kind of funny. And then after that, Nicolas Cage is driving in a car, which we later find out is Mika Monroe's mother's car, or one of her. She's a couple cars. This white uh, station wagon, and then he starts screaming about how um, he's like, "Dear mommy, dear daddy, like, can you unmake me?" and all this stuff. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't hate the movie. The first half I was kind of really into it. It definitely got a good tone to it. Very creepy horror tone. I wanted to see where it was going. I just think the second half, the payoff isn't that good. Cause in the end, like there's a picture of Nicolas Cage, and this is from 1974. So now it's been 20 years later, but there's a picture that Mika finds in her mother's house because she's visiting because it's her birthday. There's a lot of things about birthdays in this movie, and she's visiting because it's her birthday, and the mother's acting very weird, saying how you were allowed to get older, and earlier the mother's like telling her to say her prayers, and that her prayers keep the devil away. But then later on, she's like, "Oh, prayers don't do anything. That doesn't matter." So it's like I don't know. It's like earlier in the movie, she's telling her over the phone to say her prayers and to keep, and they will protect you. And then in this scene, she's like, "No, they don't do anything." So I don't know. And then she finds this box. I think it was in her room, and she takes it back to her place in the cabin, opens it up, and there's a picture of Nicolas Cage when he was delivering the doll back in 1974. Oh yeah, by the way, earlier when Nicolas Cage was in her house, he left like a note, and she never tells her boss, the FBI agent, about this note. She never tells her boss that that the Longlegs killer was in her house and is watching her. Because I guess maybe she remembers some of the stuff from her childhood, but she doesn't want to talk about it. But I was just kind of like, isn't that kind of bad police work? Like, you should tell your boss that he was there and he's watching you. I mean, really creepy. Like, would you want to go back to that house? Like, he knows where you live. He's watching you. He's been in your house. I don't know. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense in the end because, like, how, um, how this is all connected to her childhood, and her mother made this deal with him, and I guess the devil, um, to not take her. So, but yeah, Nicolas Cage isn't actually doing the killings. He is possessing them basically through these dolls. A question I have though is, does when the mom goes in the house with the doll, and I guess this has happened about 30 times, does she then take the doll out? And what happens to those dolls? I don't know, maybe she leaves the doll there. I don't know, maybe I missed that part, but um yeah, and then there's another pretty creepy scene with her and her boss, who's played by Blair Underwood, and they go to this cabin where the father kills his wife, and he would have killed his daughter, but she was gone. And now the daughter is in like a loony bin and is catatonic. And then when they and then she's deciphered this kind of zodiac-esque algorithm, and it says X marks the spot, and it's called the Camera House. Their last name is Camera. And then they're tracking down all these X's, and then they uncover this box with this little doll in it. And at first I thought it was like a little girl, but no, it's a doll, and it has human hair, and it's pretty creepy. And then when the medical examiner is looking at the doll, he opens it up, and inside is this metal ball that he calls its brain. And then the medical examiner's like, "Oh, I was here last night working late, and I swear the doll was saying the name of my ex-wife." And so was the doll kind of trying to have the medical examiner kill his ex-wife? I don't know. So definitely some creepy stuff going on. I'm not sure what I would give this out of 10, but um I just think there's something unsatisfying about the movie, and it's a little over the top for me. It's just trying too hard to be creepy, especially the second half. So yeah, and I mean, and in the end, actually, her boss goes nuts because uh um they they capture Nicolas Cage based on that photo, which is very quick because they get the photo, and then they're like, "Well, do you want to take your mom in to custody?" Which you should, because it was in her house. And she's like, "No, let's find him first." So it was like, that's kind of is that good police work? I don't think so. Like, wouldn't you want to take her in, question her, and also have the photo, and then you do a search for the guy? But they get the photo, and it's like the next scene that like they arrest Nicolas Cage. I mean, how do you find him in the whole country? I guess he's in. I think it's like the northeast of the country. I guess he's there somewhere. But I mean, how did they find him? Especially, it's like in the mid-90s. I was like, man, that was quick. I felt like a scene was missing there. So I don't know. I felt like a scene was missing there. If anyone agrees with that, I just thought that was odd. They just like find him like that, like quickly. He's like looks like he's like at a bus station, and he and then all these cops come and swarm on him, and then he gives up, and then he just says some like really weird things, like I was like laughing when there's like a flashback with him talking to her as a little girl, saying, "I have a gift for you," and then he starts singing to her. He's like, "Let me in, or I'm gonna come back, and then you have to let me in," and he's like singing to her. And I don't know. I'm not saying the performance by Nicolas Cage is bad, but it's kind of towing the line a little bit. It's on the edge of maybe being just silly. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it was bad. I just there's just something off about this movie for me. But a lot of people seem to love it, so that's cool. Um, I have seen some reviews that don't love it and have some problems that I have. I have heard that you should watch his other movie, Osgood Perkins. Was it The Black Coat's Daughter? So maybe I'll try and check that out. Maybe it would make me like this movie more. I'm not sure, but sorry, I had to re-record the ending. The part of the file got corrupted or something, but and then Nicolas Cage just deletes himself, let's say, with a desk. And I was like, would that really do it? Just a desk like that. I don't know. When you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Um, so yeah, my table. If you could do me a favor and smash that like button also, that'd be great. Really helps the channel, helps the algorithm. Back to the review. Um, but I think that's one problem I have with the movie is he's just not in it that much. Like he's in it sporadically throughout, and I don't know. Just found that a little unsatisfying. But so then yeah, then Mika Monroe's mother continues her pact, even though he's dead. Um, and shows up to Mika Monroe's boss, his house, because it's his little girl's birthday, and I guess her birthday is on the 14th, and then um, delivers a very creepy doll. Here, throwing it out here. If some random lady shows up to your house and says that the church has chose you to be a winner and is delivering you a really creepy doll, just slam the door in her face. She's like wearing like kind of like a nun outfit. And I'm kind of like, I don't know, is that guy Catholic? Is she supposed to be a Catholic nun? Maybe I'm just thinking too much about this stuff, but just some things just don't make sense to me. It's like I don't know if someone it showed up to my house and say and it's like here I have a present for your daughter. It's like who are you? Like this is some creepy doll. Get out of here. But he lets her in. The doll's sitting there. The doll looks like the little girl. Mika Monroe comes in, and it's a party, I guess, but there's no one else there. I thought that was a little strange. Where are all the other kids? Usually, when a little kid has a party, there's other kids and parents there, but no one else is there. Um, and the dad's already going crazy. You could tell he's totally acting totally different. Before this, he was a really nice guy, really pretty laid back. Guys, I like that actor too that played her boss. Um, he kind of like centered the movie, I think. It kind of brought it down to a more normal level. But he's already doing that. And then I don't know. See, that's the thing. Parts of this movie are just over the top for me. Like he says to the wife, he's like, let's go in the kitchen. And he's like, do I have to cut the cake? And then she's like, yes. And then he's like angry, he has to cut the cake. And he's like, let's go in the kitchen. And then she's like, okay, we'll be right back. He's like, no, I'll be back. Because he's gonna kill her. Get it? Ooh. Um. The doll is creepy though. So and then he kills her. She screams. The mom. He comes out with a knife. Even though I'm sure he has a bunch of guns, he's an FBI agent. But he comes out with a knife. Mika Monroe pulls her gun out, kills him. The mother then pulls out this like curvy knife because she's a Satanist, and Satanists always have the weird curvy knives. And pulls it out, rushes at her. She kills her own mother, shoots her in the head. It is pretty messed up. Um, and then she tries to shoot the doll because she did that earlier with her doll. She's out of bullets. She can't do it. She takes the little girl, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, I think that's the problem. Is just over the top. Like Nicolas Cage is wearing this makeup that's his face is like pure white. Like he's almost like a clown. He's wearing these weird prosthetics on his face. He looks. I mean, if you saw this guy, you would not ever let him get close to any kids, anyone. Like no one would want to talk to this guy. Looks like he hasn't taken a shower in like a year. Um, but yeah, I mean, just kind of over the top. Some of the trivia: many of Longlegs' encrypted messages contain misspelling errors, poor grammar after being decoded. This is a homage to the Zodiac Killer, who's also known for his messages containing typos, which also made it more difficult to decode. Despite the praise and acclaim of his portrayal of Longlegs, it's true. Most people really like this. I just think it's okay. I mean, it's okay. Nicolas Cage has stated that this will be his first and only portrayal of a serial killer. In an interview with IndieWire, Cage said, "I know that the phone's going to be ringing off the hook to play serial killers after Longlegs. That's not really what I like to do. I don't like violence. I don't want to play people who are hurting people." While often compared to other great leading men due to his skill as an actor, Longlegs director Oz Perkins recalled the story from the production during an interview where he learned Nick Cage has a particular skill that no other actor possessed: the ability to recognize how high or low he is able to speak without messing up the audio. Yeah, I guess he does that. Nicolas Cage and Oz Perkins made the film as a tribute to their mothers. It's a little weird. Really? Okay. Wow, that's weird. Okay, all right. That's bizarre. Oz Perkins thought of only two actors to play Longlegs: Nicolas Cage and Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt, really? Writer and director Osgood Perkins is horror movie royalty. He is the son of Anthony Perkins. I didn't know that. The actor who best known for playing Norman Bates. Oh, wow. Interesting. But highest grossing live action Nicolas Cage movie since Ghost Rider Spirits of Vengeance. Really? What should it make? Oh, it said it made 100 million worldwide. Huh. It's kind of surprising. But yeah, I think that's about it though. I don't know if you enjoyed the movie more than me. Comment below. Let me know why. If you think I'm wrong, and if you agree with me on some of my problems with the movie, let me know. And yeah, I'll see you next time.